Okay, we're just leaving the Nullarbor Roadhouse now on our third leg of the trip. Yeah, it's just adjusting his bag. He's got a bit of a sail effect there with the bike cover. Sometimes we don't tie it right and it flaps up, creates a huge sail. Blows us around even more than what we're getting blown around. Just doing a drive-by. We'll show you the largest windmill in Australia. There we go. On there on the right, I guess. Yeah, of the normal windmills, it would be. There we go. Nick's not impressed at all by it. Overtaking a root tree. Love doing that. We're just riding through the farm lands here with crops are nearly ready for harvest. This reminds me of Jesus' words, and he says, look to the fields, they're ripe for harvest. But the workers are few, so pray for the workers. Lord, I want to pray for the workers right now that they would rise up. You are the Lord of the harvest, Lord. So worthy to be honoured and glorified in your country, Australia. On the right there, that's Denial Bay. Not to be confused with Denial River in Egypt. No, I don't think I have. Hey? We can't really carry any fruit because it goes off. It goes off. Yeah. Okay, so we've just done our 1,200 kilometres across the Nullarbor Plain. And this is our first town we've seen in 2.5 days, Seduna. Now look, there's a sign and it's got like different directions you can go. We have choice. We're in Bed Bay, just about to swim with the sea lions tomorrow, which we're pretty excited about. We're going 3 miles out in a little tinny, and I'm in my happy place. Here we are. Yay, we're out of our motels. The weather's cleared up, and we've got this amazing spot here right by the bay, and we're the only ones here. And we get to use a fire, which I'm excited about. That's the bay we'll be going out in tomorrow. In my happy place here with a fire, so nice. It's raining, I don't care. I've got a fire, and it's been 6 weeks, and I've been so looking forward to having a fire. In Western Australia, you're not allowed to have them in our show, But here in Beards Bay, we've just seen some sea lions and some swam with the dolphins. It's so cool. They were amazing. And yeah, it was awesome. Highly recommend it. That's in Beard Bay, South Australia.
We got recommended to come to Beard Bay, and geez, something in me wanted to come. And we actually started swimming with the dolphins, and they swam around us and frolicked with us and played with the boat. Even though we weren't giving them any fish whatsoever, and I just couldn't work it out. And then we went to play with the sea lions, and they came out and wanted to play too. You know, they were picking up the anchor rope, and one of the life rings picked that up and came and kissed a few people on the face mask, and they were extraordinarily friendly. And as it turns out, the reason for that is because of Alan. And Alan's been out here befriending these things without feeding them, just swimming with them and playing with them for 26 years. But what got me was when two of them came, I went down under the water and looked, and two of them just came and looked at me under the water and looked at me. And they were, I don't know if I was looking at them or they were looking at me, or I was studying them or they were studying me, or I wanted to talk to them or they wanted to talk to me. It was just one of those moments, and I thought, you're interested in me, you know? And that's a really touching thing when someone, I guess like a puppy or a dog, you've got a friend. It felt like I had made a friend out of a dolphin underwater in the wild. So I had a real special day today because of that. I'm not going to ever forget it, I hope, unless I get demented. And then I won't mind.
So I leave Nick alone for a second. Look what he's done to the fire. It's that inferno. Well done, love. Happy with that? How do you feel?
Hot.
Hot. He's hot. You hot right now. Vetti wins guided tour. Check out the yellow field over there. I think that's canola. Or rapeseed it's called, I think. Dad used to grow that on the farm. There he is. Hello. Yeah. Hello, emu. Hey, buddy. Whoa. Mr. Emu in the middle of Coffin Bay. How cool is that? I've had 3 weeks of school holidays, which hasn't been too bad. The parks haven't been that crowded out. Later on, I'll go down there, check it out. After a whiz and brekkie coffee.
Yeah, no, we put on this luncheon every week to continue on the fellowship and that sort of thing. We just love to meet people and just to find out where they're from and what they're doing and how God's blessing them in their lives.
You see a traveller and you welcome them in, so I just want to say thank you. And churches out there, you need to, provide hospitality and just get to know the people, because yes, we're not going to sow into your church, but you know what? It's about the kingdom.
It's about the kingdom, and you actually sow into our experience by sharing what you're doing and what God's doing in your life. So that's what we love, and that's why we do it.
Perhaps when God's kids are getting on together and playing together well, then we might see a bit more movement in the churches.
That's right. Yeah, I think also it may start to change the mindset of people out there to say that we're not in competition. We're really about caring for the community and seeing the community come to know Jesus as their own personal saviour.
Okay. Well, we're at the southern end of Australia down here in South Australia, at Port Lincoln, home of the tuna industry. And I'm just looking at some of the natural coastline that you can see. And out there's lots and lots and lots of tuna. So what the fisheries do is, the fishermen do, is they go and catch the tuna in nets out to sea, and they pop them in big rings, protect them for a while, feed them up, fatten them up, and then sell them off. But of course, it was open slather there for a while, and there was more millionaires here per human capita than in the richest of the Melbourne cities. So it didn't take long, and the fisheries put a quota system on. So yeah, the tuna doesn't necessarily support all of Port Lincoln now, and there's quite a lot of wheat belt here. There's also quite fertile soil down this end.
Hallelujah. They want to take that one.
Yeah, go left. You can make it. It's all right, everyone. He's a physio.
That's what you call manipulation.
No, I have got mesh from a hernia, so I should be right.
Oh no.
Yeah, they're good.
Pete was concerned, Nick, tell him about Pete was concerned about the coke last time we were through.
Yeah, no, his only concern isn't his sump or his car, it's just he doesn't want to spill his coke. That's what determines where he goes and doesn't go. Will the coke get spilled?
And what did you decide? He was a man of faith, like?
I said he's obviously got the gift of faith. Okay, so we're just looking from, quite a few hundred feet up, down on some beautiful landscape, the ocean, off to the Antarctic if you wish. You want to keep going that direction. But if you're a fur seal, you'll probably want to sit on that rock over there, which they're doing. There's a few specks down there you wouldn't pick, but they're fur seals. And it is just gorgeous looking at the beach and the colour, the turquoise colour of the white sand and the blue from the sky. It's just gorgeous.
So I've just witnessing Peter witnessing. It was awesome. Thank you, Peter.
That's all right.
I wish you didn't get. I wish you got the start. I didn't get the start with you. The Gideon Bible. I was like, oh, you should have told me.
Oh no! It was just something that came. It just looked obvious that it was an opportunity there, and I thought, well, you got to take it. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just.
So just take me through what you did, because I didn't.
Okay, I just offered Sue just a gift, a free gift.
Yeah.
And she wondered what it was, so I told her what it was. It was the New Testament with Psalms and Proverbs, and she seemed to be quite pleased with that. And so I just showed her the helps in the front, and words of Jesus in red, and the plan of salvation in the back. And she told us that when she was much younger, she was in the Uniting Church, and in the Uniting Church, and taught Sunday school.
Yeah.
So there's a measure of faith there, and we encouraged her to reconnect with God, and just to with her faith there. So hopefully she'll do that. And Nick took the opportunity to pray with her, and that as well, which I think it's great just to be able to bless people as we go.
Isn't that great? And you didn't go out specifically for a mission to do this? You're just
no,
on your way.
Just on the way.
On your
the way the Lord led me.
Isn't that awesome?
Cheers. Oh, we've got to go, love, because this poor little girl.
Okay, Vet, so you crossed the Nullarbor.
How hard was that, honey?
It was hard.
Oh.
It was really hard.
Very
How long did it take? A couple of days?
Yeah, 2.5.
2.5, 3 days ride. I think the last place we stayed, the Nullarbor Roadhouse, was a fairly bleak place. Not very sort of lush.
No.
Wild.
Yeah.
Basically, they had to do everything for themselves. They even had their own desalination plant to get water.
Yeah.
It was wild out there.
Yeah, it was wild.
So it makes you think of, driving along the air highway on your lovely Ducati and getting into a nice place out of all that weather. But the poor old bloke who did it first, who was that?
Wow. Respect. Back in the 1840s, this guy called Eyre, and he went with a team of Indigenous people. He wouldn't have got like 5 Ks if he didn't have them, but he had to go 1,400 Ks, something like that. And partway through the trip, there was a big bang, and they were running really low on water and everything, and it was a shotgun, and one of the Indigenous people had shot a few people, took off with the supplies, and that left him and his mate, another Aboriginal guy there, an Indigenous guy, so that was left them to fend the next 1,000 kilometres by themselves, and with no rations at all. So very bleak times, and he couldn't believe it. Then they just kept, I think the horses went 7 days without water, and I'm not sure how long they went without water. Anyway, they could not believe their eyes in the harbour. You couldn't get to the cliffs, there were huge cliffs, so you couldn't get down to the water, to even the ocean. And what happened was there was a French ship in the harbour. They could not believe their eyes, and what a miracle. So then they had supplies, and they could go the rest of the way after that. So what an amazing miracle. He was a prayerful man, and he was a Christian. So yeah, good on both of those guys.
So also, I noticed that you were really struggling with the cold when you were going across the Nullarbor. What happened?
Yeah, well, silly me. I was thinking, I was sure I had the suit that zipped up the top to the bottom, and I couldn't find my zipper anywhere, and I was looking every time, and I couldn't find it. So I was just suffering in the cold as the wind would whistle up underneath the clothes, and then you had said, you got on the case, honey, and saved me. You had a closer look and saw that there was a zipper there, zipped it up.
Found the zipper.
So it made it like a jumpsuit, and it was heaps warm.
Yeah, so mine has a safety belt inbuilt in it, which takes all the weight off the jacket, but also stops all the wind coming up, so I was toasty.
That's where you really need your gear, we had the Klim gear, it was good.
Yeah, if I remember, we were belting along the air highway, and we crossed into South Australia, and we didn't know. We just crossed in, and there was a town. Can you remember the name of the town? It was actually Border Town.
Oh, okay, good. Who knew?
You think we would?
Think we would have twigged it?
No, we didn't know.
Didn't twig.
But I'll tell you what, we did recognise though, the wide roads got narrower in South Australia. Remember that?
Yeah.
There's no edges anymore. Like Western Australia, very generous with their tar.
Yeah, they had sort of wide roads, but also a lot of clearing away from the road, so you could pick up the animals as they were coming towards you. But suddenly everything got very narrow.
Yeah, so the roads weren't so good in South Australia.
No, narrow roads.
Maybe they don't have the mining, you know, all the money from the mines. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, but we should have twigged. Border town. Roads changed. Who knew?
Oops.
Think we're in South Australia. Bed Bay, I think if I remember, we went careering past the turn-off.
Yeah.
And we had to come back. That was one of the few mistakes we made on the trip.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And we got there and just got our camp set up, and then the sun decided to set over the water.
Oh, beautiful. Oh. Glorious. Amazing sunset. And we got to have a fire there too, which was awesome.
So it looked like a fire in the sky, didn't it, with that sunset? But you managed another fire.
Yeah.
And I think we got firebombed by one of the locals.
Yeah, he had a nice chat to us, and I said, "Oh, do you go out in the water much?" And he said, "No, I got a case of the twos." I said, "What's that?" He said, "It's too windy, it's too cold, and it's too wet." I was like, laugh. So he was lovely.
He wanted to know what we were doing. We said we were going out with the swim with the dolphins and the seals.
Yeah.
You think that was safe?
No. He didn't think it was very safe. You know, naturally enough, like most Australians wouldn't. Yeah.
What was he worried about?
The sharks, the big great whites in the bite.
So he knew about the sharks in the bay.
Yeah.
So just Alan, who was running the...
Yeah, runs the show.
Yeah, he was running the show. He'd done a lot about that. He had one of his own workers jump in with us, had a shark alarm, a big long shark alarm on.
Yeah.
He gave us all instructions to stay within 20 metres of that guy. Not only that, Alan did donuts around the group of us, round and round in the boat, to make a bit of a noise, just in case there were any sharks in the area looking for the dolphins or the seals. And it went pretty well.
Yeah.
He did say to us, though, look, if I tell you to get out, you need to get out.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. And so he drilled us a few times, just yelled at us when we got back on the boat.
Remember when there was one lady there, she had a drone.
So she's flown the drone off the deck of the boat, hoping to get it out underneath the awning. It's whacked up against the awning, dipped overside, and she just watched it sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, I know.
He trawled a human being in great white waters behind the boat.
Looking for a drone. In the middle of the ocean.
It took us about 10 minutes.
Guess what?
Found the drone.
Amazing.
Okay, Vetti. We left Bed Bay. Absolutely full.
Yeah.
Having had some amazing experiences with God's creatures.
Yes.
Heading to Port Lincoln.
Yeah.
All the way down. So we headed into the caravan park. How was the weather? What was the conditions like?
Beautiful. Sunny. No rain.
Totally lush lawn
Yeah.
that I'd been looking for the 6 weeks in the Northern Territory.
Yeah.
Lawn.
Yeah, it was lovely, really.
Sun. There was this like yellow thing in the sky.
We went to church there. We went to see just the Baptist church there, and we met this guy called Peter. He's ended up being a Gideon. And giddy up Gideons, eh? How good were they?
Gideons. Peter was a really encouraging. I mean, he'd probably be in his 60s, nearing retirement, but on fire.
Yeah.
On fire. He was just doing the work. Yeah, which puts me in mind of my spiritual mentor, who he's passed through now and he's in heaven. Shout out for Ross. And he had a major impact in my spiritual journey, just kicking me off, kickstarting me out of my arrogant haze, and also guiding me along the way. And his story was about getting saved through the Gideon ministry. Now, he was in a hotel in King's Cross by himself, and picked up the book, started reading it, started just getting waves of tears and emotion, and he just felt like he needed God, and he felt God actually physically around him in some sort of spiritual sense, a presence of God. And he said, God, you're here, you're real, and you got me. And it all came through reading one of those books from the Gideons.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, so I want to say thank you to the Gideon ministry.
Yeah.
Giddy up, Gideons.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was so good to see such a friendly couple, Peter and his wife down there, that looked after us like champions and sent us on our way, prayed up, loved up, and we keep in contact with them today.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, where are you off to next, mate?
Port Augusta.
Going north for a bit.
Yep.
Then around the corner to
Adelaide.
Kangaroo Island.
Yeah, that was lovely.
Not a bad racetrack on Kangaroo Island. Oh, sorry. No, it's just public road. Apologies. Yeah, so well, why don't we see you on the next episode? See you then.
Bye.